In this lesson, we're going to go ahead and analyze different male faces and how some of them actually have female features. So why am I splitting every face up into a video? Basically, I need you to be aware of how important it is that people are different. And what we consider beautiful, attractive, or whatever, as we've discussed, is fairly, abstract in a way. It goes to each his own, right? Everybody knows what they like. Some people like something, others don't. That's just how it is. It goes down to taste. But what doesn't go down to taste is something that you can analyze and something you can see. So let's take a look at a picture of this model. Take a look at how his jaw is straight, coming down, but then curves. Still makes that nice profile, right? But he doesn't have that big square chin. His chin's actually round. And if you look, it's not that big. It's fairly small, right? Look at his zygomatic. It doesn't really go much further out from his head than you would expect, right? Remember, bigger bones, everything just is thicker. It should be bigger, right? Well, no. It really depends. Look at how his ears look so much more feminine, right? They're really round, really small, very clean in their shapes. He has a relatively big nose down at the bottom, but it's fairly thin going up. He also has those big eyes, right? You can really see a lot of his eyes. And look at those thick lips. That's more of a female trait than anything, right? He still has the big chin, so that's interesting. So why am I showing you this? Because he's a mix between male and female. But he's not androgynous. He still looks like a manly guy, right? He's a dude. You can clearly see he's a dude. There's nothing like that. He could be a little bit more feminine, but that's about it. He doesn't look like a girl. So the important thing to retain here is that combinations of male features such as jaw, chin, with thicker lips, bigger eyes, smaller zygomatics, rounder ears, they work. There are no hard and fast rules about this. There's just going with the flow, taking a look at your reference, and seeing what it is that you'd like. But these things remain very, very strong to give you a guide, a baseline, something to refer back to. But you can really make it so that it looks skewed, in a sense. You can really trick people if you're not careful. So if you're looking for really manly people, then you need to take a look at, let's see here. I have a picture of Mr. Tom Selleck. So let's go ahead and find it. Look at Tom Selleck. He's a manly man. Why is he such a manly man? Well, he was Magnum PI, but that's not the point. The point is, look at that big, protruding zygomatic. It actually goes outside of the profile of his face. You can even see it here, see? Really big, really thick, the bone, right? Look at that big jaw. Really huge, huge jaw that you see here. Big chin. Huge chin. Lips, fairly thin up top, fairly thin at the bottom. But facial hair, very important to making a guy look more manly. He still has the big eyes, I would say. But look at those thick eyebrows. Fairly big. And there's a big nose too. So this is a complete opposite of what you saw in the other case, right? Let's take a look at another picture. So how about David Beckham? Well, he's a fairly different looking dude, right? At least I think so. He's a different looking guy. Small eyes, right? Little beady eyes that he's got there. Let's go ahead and grab ourselves a bigger brush to see this. So small eyes, fairly small eyebrows, right? Thin lips, big chin, square chin. Look at that. And then the big jaw coming on the outside right there. His ears look pretty weird. They look like man ears, right? So there you go. And then this nose. It's really weird. But what do you need to take away from this nose? That it's not, that pristine, perfect shape that you tend to see on women. It has a whole bunch of lines, right? Look at that. There's a line here for the nasolabial fold, and there's a line here for skin connecting it. Then the shape of the nose. It's all crooked. It's weird. He's got a really big brow ridge. You can see by the light shining here. See? That means his brow is fairly protruding. You gotta know how to read the lights to see this a little bit more clearly. But in general, you can see he has a thick zygomatic too. He is a manly man as well, right? This is what I'm talking about. You have to find these things on your reference. Let's take a look at Idris Elba, for example. Idris Elba has this huge zygomatic. Look at that. And it goes into the shape of his jaw. That is straight up and down, big chin. And like most African descendant people, in general, you're going to have really big noses. That's just something of ethnicity that, just doesn't change. It's difficult to see this change. He has some pretty big eyes, though. Some not so thick eyebrows, but fairly thick. Big lips. Look at that. A bigger upper lip. That's different, right? You can see how the combinations really make it stand out. And you can have various different combinations. Let's take a look at Chris Hemsworth. Now, this is the topical guy, right? Really easy to see why they picked him for Thor, right? Big, square, comic book jaw. Very small separation between lips and nose. This makes a big difference. Small nose, small eyes, big, thick eyebrows. He definitely looks like a comic book example of a manly character. But he doesn't have those thick zygomatics. He's softer over here. So keep that in mind. It's always a combination of hard and soft. Let's take a look at James Dean in the old days. Look at that big jaw. Look at that big chin. It goes straight, and then you can see the wobble right there for his cheekbones right there. Fairly thick eyebrows, fairly big nose, small space, and big lips. Small chin. Look at that. Big ears. The combinations are limitless. You guys have to analyze the reference and always have an idea of what you're trying to build. Use an actor, use something that you like to get to the result that you need to guide you along the way. But I hope that with this series of images, you can have an idea of what I was talking about when referencing the skull. So now that we've taken a look at some facial differences between males, let's take a look at some female faces. I'll see you guys in the next lesson.